chenchele. Netwa kagango, netwa kerengo, bine nyembo cheto. Netwa chageto, netwa keyege, bine nyembo cheto. Kuriena muronta, be makumbo, bine nyembo cheto. Oh, wetu darake, twine nyembo cheto. Oh, wetu ketui, twine nyembo cheto. Oh, antoba mwinge, twine nyembo cheto. Oh, wetu ni Kenya, twine nyembo cheto. Nyoga kega baboge kebege, bine nyembo cheto. Watero baromboge kebere, bine nyembo cheto. Wateni charo boge yebege, bine nyembo cheto. Oh, wetu darake, twine nyembo cheto. Oh, wetu ketui, twine nyembo cheto. Oh, antoba mwinge, twine nyembo cheto. Oh, wetu ni Kenya, twine nyembo cheto.
Ai, kia nani? Babosu, babosu, mama. Lido yake na ikweli mayume devasa. Lido yake na ikweli mayume devasa. Lakini tuzawa yuyu idipendeza. Lakini tuzawa yuyu idipendeza. Panza tusuwe mo. Mwinge mnoge nyaito. Kakwatise ya kwaka. Malelo maito ne masyo. Yako tisito sisawa. Yolo kama kaolaya. Esi ndiere yukona. Vitumie ila siya kiso. Kenya tuya dimesana. Vitana kweda hito. Kenya tuya dimesana. Vitana kweda hito. Sauti zu. Zaumi. Sauti. Ningwe moyo. Rune mo Kenya sauti. Ningwe moyo. Rune mo Kenya namu. Wakenya tujawa. Nikazite kumini. Kadena tujawa. Nikazite mangone. Kuchapa kazi. Tutoza kuwa njobu. Iwa mjini. Hata kwa mashambani. Ofisini. Hata kwa vibarua. Uyanewe. Bolo kwa teka samu. Uyanewe. Bolo kwa teka samu. Kina mama wasitunza familia. Na wazee wasiji kulinda inji. Na vijana maili wajapa kazi. Na vijana maili wajapa kazi. Kila Mkenya azidi kujenga inji. Kila Mkenya azidi kujenga inji. Sauti zu. Sauti. Wewe tatende. Olo wewe te. Elevyo. Ndokangwate. Wapi? Hapo.
Ikibamba sana wapi nuru? solo. Hey. Wapi makofi ya Stella Mengele? Tekea Mudanga. Wewe. Asi. Wapi vigelegele?
Atongo yonze makenya zima yimeova Nenda kopia tangita musunge mpaka munyale Akenyo na paninara ni kono ni nyumi atani Ukili nyonze musunge tushereke wa mwene nyumi Negare ni medie Negare ya nani shwari ni akatutwara nikoyo nikali lenge ansi ane yo kamba nundu akwithiai vachala vanini tu tosonge biowai litino ila nakuniano ala vachingwange manuma vandu shambiki ne karibo ne marash Mukenya Sanae
Musombesa.
Endezeu alivozana ndia Kenya niliara na ni mailu sivyo situ nisia kuendezia duniani vaigange Indo siandidia mbui ngombe Nizindute soko sokamba Sindumba ilusi neka Kenya ni mutabasi Kaiki nduko sa Kenya ni ndingadime Namusi akitheka kusabo kasivya Jitwembe vyundi ya Kenya tuikwatika Jitwembe vyundi ya Kenya tuikwatika Ana yini yao Ya musomesa Indu chumila Mwene ngo
Vigelegele Kitui. Mheshimiwa Rais, kitunguu ni mukangile inamaanisha utamu wa kitunguu ni jinsi unavyokikaanga. Huo ndio mwisho wa burudani hiyo kwa sasa ambayo imeshirikisha pia wimbo wake Harry Belafonte aliyoupenda sana Raila ulioimbwa mwaka wa 1956.
Na kwa sasa Mheshimiwa Rais, kwa ruhusa yako tutaweza kuwaruhusu wananchi ambao wako nje ya uga huu kuruhusiwa kuingia kulingana na taratibu ambazo zimepangwa, machifu wetu wakiwaelekeza. Wakati hayo yanaendelea, Mheshimiwa Rais, tutaletewa nyimbo mbili speciali. Wimbo wa kwanza ni wa video wa mwimbaji Samidi ambaye alitunga wimbo Baba Hoye kumuenzi aliyekuwa waziri mkuu wa Kenya mwenda zake Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga, ambaye atakumbukwa na wengi kama shujaa kwa yale yote aliweza kulifanyia taifa letu. Wakati ninapoendelea kutangaza, naomba tafadhali machifu tuweze kuwaruhusu wananchi kuingia. Wimbo wa pili, Mheshimiwa Rais, Kefa Oyugi Wonder almaarufu kama Farike, mwanamuziki maarufu wa nyimbo za mtindo wa country, atatuletea wimbo alioupenda mwenda zake Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga, Farewell Jamaica, ambapo maneno ya wimbo huo yatapeperushwa moja kwa moja kwenye runinga zetu. Naomba sasa tupewe video tukiwaruhusu wananchi kuingia kwa utaratibu. Asante.
001, round 001.
Keti tafadhali. Wakati msanii anaingia.
Walked the road of freedom's call. He stood for justice and gave his all. From Bondo to the world, he was known as Raila the Enigma. Rest in peace, Baba. Your race is done. Say you've gone away, your song will echo day by day. The rivers cry, the people pray for you, showed us the better way.
Asante sana mwimbaji wetu. Kwa ruhusa yako Mheshimiwa Rais, naomba chiefs waweze kuondoka uwanjani, nikirejesha kwake mwenzangu Mike Gitonga kuendelea na ratiba yetu.
Asanteni sana. Tumpigie Farike makofi tafadhali. A special dedication there to the late Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga. Your Excellency, sir, with your permission, naomba sasa nimwalike Gavana wa Kitui, Governor Julius Malombe, to make some brief remarks as the wananchi continue to come in. Tumkaribishe Gavana akija tafadhali ili atuneneshe machache. Karibu sana Gavana wa Kitui.
Your Excellency Dr. William Samuel Arap Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya and the Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces, Your Excellency the First Lady Mama Rachel Ruto, Your Excellency the President of the Republic of Senegal, Your Excellency the Prime Minister of the Republic of Mozambique, Your Excellency the Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki and Dr. Joyce Kindiki, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, the Honorable Speakers of the the Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly and the Senate, the Honorable Chief Justice and the President of the Supreme Court, and other judges who are here, Excellency Governors and Deputy Governors present, Members of Parliament, that is Senators and National Assembly members present, Cabinet and Principal Secretaries present, our distinguished heroes and heroines from all over the country, mabibi na mabwana, all protocols observed. I wish to warmly welcome you all to Kitui County, the venue for the 2025 Mashujaa Day celebrations for our nation. Your Excellency, the President, the people of Kitui are grateful for the opportunity we have been accorded to host this year's Mashujaa Day. at this magnificent 10,000-seater stadium recently constructed by your government in a record 4.5 months from June 2025 to October 2025. Your Excellency, I recall vividly when I requested you to consider hosting one of the national days that are celebrated outside the capital city in Kitui County, either in 2025 or 2026. This was on 23rd February 2023 when you visited our county to launch the Level 4 Hospital at the Administration Police Border Patrol Unit Headquarters at Kanyonyo. And Your Excellency, here we are in 2025 celebrating Mashujaa Day in Kitui. This is indicative of your responsiveness as a national leader who is committed to inclusive service delivery and development in all parts of our country. Your Excellency, we are deeply honored that you granted our request. Asante sana. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, Mashujaa Day is a special occasion set aside under our Constitution to honor Kenyans who have sacrificed and exhibited courage and selflessness in the service of our nation. Today, as we celebrate Kenyan heroes and heroines, we wish to particularly salute those Kenyans such as Mekatilili Wamenza and Koitalel Arap Samoei, who firmly resisted colonialists. We also honor the Kenyan heroes who gallantly fought for the independence of our country, such as Dedan Kimathi and the Kapenguria Six. In the southeastern Kenya region, Your Excellency, we also have heroes and heroines who include Kivoi Wamwenda, a Kamba warrior and long-distance trader who resisted colonialists, Mwangeka wa Malowa, a 19th century chief of Taita who led the community in opposing colonial rule, Syokimau and Muindimbingu who valiantly resisted colonialism. Other heroes and heroines from the region include Mbiti Mati, the first African National Assembly Speaker, Kitili Mwendwa, the first African Chief Justice, Zamba Kitonga, the chairperson of the Committee of Experts that harmonized various drafts that led to the 2010 Constitution, among others. The bravery, courage, and resilience of these heroes and heroines are an inspiration to the current and future generations to build a united and prosperous Kenya. Your Excellency, in our country, heroes and heroines are found in all walks of life. They include persons who significantly contribute to our economic development through engagement in the micro, small, and medium enterprises, such as mama mbogas, border operators, juakali traders, barbers, salonists, hawkers, among others. Such heroes and heroines are also found among teachers, nurses, security officers, community health promoters, firefighters, athletes, fishermen, and farmers. In a special way, Your Excellency, I want to take this opportunity to applaud the departed former Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, as an outstanding and awesome Shujaa whom Kenyans are celebrating for championing multi-party democracy, constitutional reforms, promoting and defending devolution, and advocating for justice, rule of law, and inclusive governance. Your Excellency, in order to promote inclusive economic growth, your government has been implementing projects in our county focusing on agriculture, micro, small, and medium enterprises, rural electrification through the last mile connectivity program, roads and allied transport infrastructure, housing, healthcare, tourism, technical and vocational training, and the creative economy, including adoption of digital technology, music, arts, and sports. In appreciation of Your Excellency, kindly allow me to briefly highlight some of the projects that your government has undertaken recently in preparation for Mashujaa Day celebrations in Kitui Municipality, and these include the construction of this 10,000-seater Ithokwe Stadium. The construction of the Kitui Mini State Lodge. 3, the rehabilitation of the Ithokwe Airstrip. 4, the expansion of rural electrification program to cover an additional 750 households. 5, upgrading to bitumen standard several roads within Kitui municipality. Your Excellency, there are 2 roads which were identified, tendered for, and recommended for award and implementation by KERA as part of the roads to be undertaken in preparation for Mashujaa Day to serve as entry and exit roads for the Ithokwe Stadium and the Kitui Airstrip. I would like to request you, sir, that they be implemented as initially planned to be ready for your commissioning when you come back to Kitui, and I believe very soon. These roads are Mulutu, Edhiani, Tiva, Kileko Junction, and Makutano, Maithokwe, Mbusiani, Dhimani, Kolania to Edhiani Road. Your Excellency, there are other projects that are currently being undertaken and others earmarked for implementation by your government. These include markets. 2 have been completed, one at Kakongo in Mwingi West and another one in Kamuwongo in Mwingi North, and 10 others which have been proposed for construction. Then there is housing. The proposed construction of over 2,000 affordable housing units in Kitui, Mwingi, Mutombo, and Kabadi towns, in line with your commitment to provide decent and affordable housing for low and income households in all parts of the country. The proposed upgrading, also, Your Excellency, the proposed upgrading to bitumen standards of key roads such as Kwasikum Bodoni Road, which you are to launch on Wednesday, when we got the sad news that the late Right Honorable Raila Odinga has left us, and programs which you had to be rescheduled. Then there is Kamuwongo Kanduya Road, which is in Mwingi North. Then there is Chuluni, Zombe Mwitika Road, which is in Kitui East. And then there is Ikuda Kanzikumuda Road, which is in Kitui South. Your Excellency, we have some proposed construction projects, which some have started, others are just about, and this includes student hostels at Seku, and all the KMTCs in Kitui, that is in Mwingi, here in Kitui, and in Mutombo, and also at the Kabati Vocational and Training Institute. The proposed establishment of the Kitui Utalii College, and we signed a memorandum of understanding with the Kenya Utalii College to establish such a campus in the course of this year or early next year. The establishment of 6 technical and vocational training institutes, which are complete and are in use, and also the Kitui Livestock Training Institute and a modern livestock feedlot facility at Kanyonyo, which are intended to train mid-level professionals and to enhance the livestock value chain, respectively. Also, Your Excellency, we have the ongoing construction of the proposed Kitui County Aggregation and Industrial Park at Kanyonyo, which is about 45% complete, and where aggregation and value addition of agricultural produce will take place. Also, in tourism, we have the rehabilitation of the South Kitui Game Reserve, a project where we are collaborating very closely with Kenya Wildlife Service. Your Excellency, we kindly request that you consider prioritizing the completion of the following projects. 1, Umar Dam, which is ongoing, but the contractor is like he has abandoned the site, claiming his certificates are not being honored. Please let something be done about it so that he can complete that project. And thank you very much, really, for having it restarted because it stalled some time ago. Yeah, soon. Then there is a Kedhombwani market in Kitui Town. Your Excellency, we thank you for instructing the PS housing sometime in 2025 to work with our county towards the financing and completion of the said market. The other project is the Ienziu River Bridge, a critical project initiated after the December 4, 2021 tragedy that claimed over 30 lives. And the other one is a project which has been started, which is Wikililia Kabisuni Thwake to Thwake Dam. There are a number of other projects which are listed here, but because in the interest of time, I will not go through them. We believe, Your Excellency, you will be visiting us very soon as you had planned. We are going to put the projects which were proposed by the leadership in this county, that is members of parliament, as well as members of the county assembly. And I know it will not be good for me to go through all of them. Your Excellency, we acknowledge that you had initially planned to visit Kitui last week to launch several development projects across the country. This would have accorded the leadership of the people and the people of the county a valuable opportunity to meet and discuss some of the development priorities of our county with you. However, in light of the passing of the former Prime Minister, you called off all scheduled public engagement as a mark of respect to our departed hero, a gesture for which we commend you highly. Your Excellency, as I conclude, I wish to take this opportunity to thank the Mashujaa Day technical and steering committees, which were led by Mr. Makori and PS Raymond Omondolo, respectively, and as well as the regional commissioner and the county commissioner and the county security committee, for the way we have worked closely, consulting and solving any problem which arises in a very amicable way. Let me reaffirm our shared commitment towards the implementation of projects that positively transform the lives of our people. And may this Mashujaa Day rekindle our spirit of service, patriotism, and unity as we build a stronger, more prosperous Kenya. Thank you, Your Excellency. Asante ni sana. God bless Kitui. God bless Kenya. Asante.
Tumpongeze tena kwa makofi Governor Dr. Julius Malombe. Kwa sasa Mheshimiwa Rais, naomba unipe ruhusa nimkaribishe His Excellency the Deputy President of this great nation, Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki. Tumpigie makofi tafadhali akija. Karibu sana Naibu wa Rais.
Your Excellency President William Ruto, Your Excellency First Lady Rachel Ruto, Your Excellency President Faye, President of the Republic of Senegal, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Mozambique, fellow Kenyans, we gather here today on this Mashujaa Heroes Day to remember, reflect, and consider where our country has come from. Your Excellency, sir, as you continue to lead us in this reflection, we continue to remember the many people who have sacrificed their time, their lives, and their comfort for our freedom. And even at this time, as we continue to mourn the departure of our former Prime Minister, one of the greatest Kenyans to ever walk on our soil, we remember many more those who have gone before us for selflessly protecting our sovereignty, defending our dignity, and emancipating the black person from colonial domination, for expanding our political rights and freedom, and expanding and perfecting our democracy. What remains is now to strengthen the foundations of our country, perfect the economic well-being of the people of our country, and as you lead us, Your Excellency, the future of Kenya looks certainly good because of the labor that those who came before us have put, and because of the labor that you continue to put, Your Excellency, and putting us together, even as we take the vision of our forefathers forward. Mbaito muyaseo, mbaito muyaseo, muyaseo enge, muyaine museo, na mavira othe. Your Excellency, the President, today is not my day. My task is very simple. My task is to ask you, Your Excellency, sir, to address the nation on this very special day in the history of our country. Mr. President, welcome. Karibu sana, Mheshimiwa Rais.
Asante sana. Ndugu wana wa Kitui, hamjambo? Kitui hoye! Mbaito muyaseo! Muyaseo inge! Muyaini museo! Na mavinda onde! Muyai ataiwe! Bwana Yesu asifiwe! Hebu nione kwa mikono. Bwana Yesu asifiwe! Asanteni sana, tunaweza kuketi chini. Your Excellency, Bassirou Diomaye Faye, President of Senegal. Your Excellency, Madam Adriano Alfonso Melaine, Prime Minister of Mozambique. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, fellow citizens, before I make my statement, wakati tulikubaliana na tukaamua ya kwamba sherehe ya Mashujaa mwaka wa 2025 itafanyika hapa Kitui kwa mara ya kwanza. Nilitafuta marafiki na leo tuko na bahati ya kuwa na rais wa Senegal, nchi rafiki, nchi ya Kenya. Ametutembelea sio tu Kenya, lakini ametutembelea hapa Kitui siku ya leo. Na vile vile nilimuuliza rafiki wetu mwingine, rais wa Mozambique, na kwa heshima kubwa alikuwa na shughuli nyingi, lakini ametuma Prime Minister wa nchi ya Mozambique na yuko hapa Kitui pamoja na sisi. Jameni, mnawakaribisha hawa marafiki zetu, mnawakaribisha hawa wageni wetu. Wapi nduru ya hawa wageni wetu jameni, watu wa Kitui? kweli naona mmewakaribisha. Wacha nimualike in a very special way my brother Faye on behalf of the government and people of Kenya. We don't take it for granted that you have taken time out of your busy schedule at home to come and visit us and participate in this national celebration, not necessarily in our capital city, but in our town of Kitui. We don't take it for granted, Mr. President, and the people of Kitui sincerely appreciate that you have made time to come all the way. I will now request you, Mr. President, to make some remarks as we celebrate our Heroes' Day here in Kitui in Kenya. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, my dear brother William Ruto, ladies and gentlemen, members of the Kenyan government, honorable members of the National Assembly and Senate, honorable members of Judiciary, ladies and gentlemen, members of the Diplomatic Corps, the Honorable County Governor of Kitui, ladies and gentlemen, habari za asubuhi. Before I begin, I would like first to take this opportunity to renew the heartfelt condolences of the people of Senegal to the brotherly people of Kenya on the passing of Mr. Raila Odinga, a former Prime Minister and a great leader in the political history of Kenya. I pay tribute to the memory of the illustrious departed and express my deep compassion to President Ruto, to his family, and to the people of Kenya. May his soul rest in peace. I would like to thank President Ruto for the warm welcome and all the attention we accorded to me and my delegation since our arrival in this brotherly country, home to the wonders of Masai Mara and Kilimanjaro. I am here in the invitation of my brother, President William Ruto, as a guest of honor on this day celebrating Kenyan heroes. I express my gratitude to him for this gesture that shows the excellent quality of relations between our two countries. I'm also here because I'm deeply committed to the duty of remembrance. Our heroes deserve all honors. They deserve our respect. They deserve our admiration. The celebration of Kenyan heroes who risked their lives fighting for the independence of their country is a great tribute that commands respect and pride. The members of Mau Mau National Liberation Movement suffered fierce repression at the hands of those whose sole aim was to perpetuate the colonial order. Jomo Kenyatta, Achieng Oneko, Bildad Kagia, Fred Kubai, Kangu Kurumba, Paul Kay, and their companions suffered the worst horrors of the colonial power, leading to the death of thousands of Kenyans, countless arrests, torture, and massive imprisonment. Their fate is a reminder that colonial history is not just about enslavement, but also and above all about struggle, dignity, and justice too long delayed. I would like to seize this opportunity to pay tribute to these worthy sons and daughters of Kenya and African whose memory must be etched out into our collective consciousness. I'd admire their courage and determination in the anti-colonial resistance. With their blood and sweat, they wrote a great page in the glorious history of liberation. Ladies and gentlemen, colonial repression was not an isolated case in Kenya. We suffered the same in Senegal, where anti-colonial national resistance movements blossomed against the European imperialist power offensive in Africa. Our fellow countrymen suffered unspeakable repression. For instance, on December 1944 at Charoy Black Barracks, innocent and unarmed Senegalese riflemen, along with their brothers in arms from other African countries, were massacred by the colonial power. Their only crime was to demand the payment of their allowance, bonuses, and other entitlements. This was one of many premeditated criminal acts, and the facts are undeniable. Out of duty of remembrance, truth, and justice, we cannot forget these horrors, nor the sacrifice of our national liberation heroes and founding fathers of our nation. The full history must be recalled. These valiant sons and daughters of Africa must be celebrated because celebration is an educational tool in the transmission of our values and virtues. This is why I initiated a series of activities to pay tribute to all victims of slavery, colonialism, and all past injustice. The first such initiative was to commemorate the 18th anniversary of the massacre of Senegalese riflemen last year. We are preparing to mark the second edition on December next, in communion with the 16 other troops contributing nations to the regiment commonly known as Senegalese riflemen. Ladies and gentlemen, to consolidate these various remembrance initiatives on the African continent, it is vital that we develop synergy in our efforts. I am on the view that to reclaim our history and restore the memory and dignity of these valiant Africans, we need to take several steps, including, first, build monuments and museums in honor of our heroes to serve as open spaces of reverence and remembrance. Second, build documentation and research centers to keep records, testimonies, and narratives about our heroes, while supporting research and education on this history of great African resistance fighters against slavery, colonialism, and worse form and injustice. Third, our streets, public squares, and buildings shall bear the names of our heroes so that their sacrifice and faith of arms be etched into our daily life and collective history. Fourth, teach our history in our education curricula. Thus, future generation will grow up with a thorough understanding of these episodes of our past. Fifth, initiate throughout Africa days dedicated to our heroes like the one we are celebrating today. This is what will sustain the memory of our heroes, just as sustainable energy solution, the theme of this year's celebration, will help transform our lives. With the mastery of energy and sufficiency production capacity, Africa shall build the foundation of her development, the engine for her economic transformation, and foster technological and social innovation. Long live to memory of Kenyan heroes. Long live the memory of African heroes. I thank you for your kind attention.
Wapi makofi ya Rais wa Senegal jameni. Asanteni sana. Sasa nimuite kwa heshima kubwa Mama Prime Minister wa kutoka nchi ya Mozambique. You're welcome, Your Excellency, to make your statement, please. Karibu.
Habari mchana. Sua Excelência William Ruto, Presidente da República do Quênia. Sua Excelência Bassirou Faye, Presidente da República do Senegal. Excelências, minhas senhoras, meus senhores, todo o protocolo observado.
Your Excellency William Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya. Your Excellency Bassirou Faye, President of the Republic of Senegal. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed.
Iniciamos a nossa intervenção transmitindo as calorosas saudações e cumprimentos de Daniel Francisco Chapo, Presidente da República de Moçambique, a todos aqui presentes e, em particular, ao povo amigo e irmão queniano que hoje celebra o Mashujaa Day, Dia dos Heróis.
I begin my remarks by conveying warm greetings and best wishes from His Excellency Daniel Francisco Chapo, President of the Republic of Mozambique, to all those present here today, and in particular to the friendly and brotherly people of Kenya, who today celebrate Mashujaa Day, the Day of Heroes.
Manifestamos os nossos mais sentidos pêsames e condolências ao povo, governo queniano e a família enlutada pelo desaparecimento físico de Sua Excelência Raila Odinga.
We extend our deepest condolences and heartfelt sympathy to the people and government of Kenya and to the bereaved family on the passing of the late Right Honorable Raila Odinga.
Com seu desaparecimento físico, Quênia e todos os países africanos perdem um verdadeiro nacionalista cuja voz continuará a ecoar na luta por uma sociedade mais justa e democrática.
With his passing, Kenya, and indeed all African nations, have lost a true nationalist whose voice will continue to resonate in the struggle for a more just and democratic society.
Excelências, as festividades e comemorações do Dia de Heróis que hoje aqui assinalamos, para além de ser um momento de recordações e homenagens, constitui um momento de introspeção e reflexão de uma nação sobre os feitos dos seus melhores filhos que lutaram, morreram e sacrificaram por uma causa tão nobre que é a de libertar, construir, preservar e consolidar o seu país.
Excellencies, the festivities and commemorations of this Mashujaa Day, which we mark here today, are not only a time of remembrance and tribute, but also a moment of introspection, reflection for a nation and time to honor the deeds of its finest sons and daughters who fought, died, and sacrificed for the noble cause of liberation, nation building, preservation, and consolidation.
Recordar os pais fundadores do país, Jomo Kenyatta e seus 5 companheiros, assim como outros heróis conhecidos e anônimos, em um ato de preservação da história coletiva do povo queniano.
To remember the founding father of the nation, the late Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, and his compatriots and contemporaries, including the members of the Kapenguria Six, as well as other known and unknown heroes, is an act of preserving the collective history of the Kenyan people.
Esta efeméride é também de reafirmação da sua visão, valores e determinação, elementos estes que continuam a servir de alicerce e bússola para a contínua construção de uma Quênia que se pretende cada vez mais desenvolvida, justa e inclusiva.
This occasion is also one of reaffirmation of Kenya's vision, values, and determination, elements that continue to serve as the foundation and compass for building a Kenya that aspires to be ever more developed, just, and inclusive.
Os seus ensinamentos, ideais e valores continuam vivos, não só no seio dos quenianos, como também dos povos africanos, constituindo ferramentas e referências fundamentais para que continuemos a construir e a consolidar as conquistas até aqui alcançadas.
Their teachings, ideals, and values remain alive, not only among Kenyans, but also among the peoples of Africa, serving as essential tools and points of reference as we continue to build upon and consolidate the gains attained thus far.
Na unidade reside a força, liberdade e dignidade que todos almejamos.
In unity lies the strength, freedom, and dignity we all seek.
Termino agradecendo pelo convite endereçado a Moçambique para participar nas celebrações desta efeméride tão importante para o povo queniano e agradecendo a hospitalidade que nos tem sido concedida desde a nossa chegada.
In conclusion, allow us to express our sincere appreciation for the invitation extended to Mozambique to participate in the commemoration of this occasion, which is of great importance to the people of Kenya.
Muito obrigada. Asante sana.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Prime Minister. Wapi makofi ya mama Prime Minister wa kutoka Mozambique jameni, asanteni sana. Today we gather as a nation, as one people, here at Ithokwe Stadium in Kitui to celebrate Mashujaa Day, our National Heroes Day. Mashujaa Day is an occasion for remembrance, for celebration, and for reflection, and also a day for renewal. As you all know, yesterday, we bid farewell to one of our country's most consequential and impactful sons, a towering statesman, a resolute patriot, and a quintessential hero, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, our former Prime Minister. This is the man, the legend, and the Pan-Africanist to whom we dedicate this Mashujaa Day. It is for this reason, fellow citizens, in his solemn memory, that I invite us all to now stand and observe a moment of silence in honor and celebration of his remarkable life and service to our great country, our continent, and to humanity. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Sons and daughters of our motherland, Kenya, Raila Amolo Odinga aspired and labored for a Kenya that is free, that is fair, governed by the rule of law, and filled with limitless opportunity for all of us. Baba envisioned and fought for a nation where, in the immortal words of our national anthem, justice is everyone's shield and defender, where we all dwell in unity, peace, and liberty, and a Kenya that has plenty within its borders. It goes without saying that it is precisely because of great and irrepressible giants like Raila that we find within ourselves the courage and inspiration to go further, to dream bigger, and to pursue higher ideals. For greatness and nobility are never achieved by settling for the ordinary or the comfortable. They are seized by those who dare to push the frontiers of possibility, by those who refuse to be confined by what is, but instead reach boldly for what could be. It is in that restless, relentless pursuit of higher ideal, in that unyielding spirit of aspiration, that humanity advances and nations rise. For it is only by stretching beyond our limit that we discover our true strength and fulfill our full destiny. Fellow citizens, as we emerge from a week of profound sorrow and reflection, and as the nation continues to observe the 7 days of mourning on the passing of our former Prime Minister, it is both fitting and worthy that we anchor this year's Mashujaa celebration in the extraordinary and consequential life of our departed legend, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. In honoring his memory, we also draw from his journey of enduring lessons of courage, service, and unyielding love for country. The first lesson that Baba taught us is to put country above self. Time and again, he reminded us that no disagreement is greater than our unity, no ambition more important than our peace, and no personal interest higher than the welfare of our nation. He famously declared that he would shake the hands of his rivals, whether he won or lost, because he loved Kenya more than he loved Raila Amolo Odinga. That was the measure of the greatness of a man. Early this year, when I invited him to address our cabinet retreat, Baba reiterated the need to ensure, above all else, that Kenya remains a stable and a secure nation. He reminded us that we may hold lofty visions and great ambition, that we may dream big, daring dreams, but without a country and a stable political environment, they would remain mere wishes. Perhaps more significantly, he told us that an imperfect nation striving for perfection is far better than one that is consumed by chaos and anarchy. And he could readily point to countries in our region that were once stable, but later descended into turmoil and disorder, and decades on, they are yet to regain their stability. There are people still enduring untold suffering and loss. This is the critical lesson that those who criticized and faulted Baba for working with us to stabilize the nation forget or refuse to acknowledge, or they just simply don't care. When some saw the opportunity to bring down their competitors, even if it meant bringing down the country, Baba chose the stability of Kenya. For Agwambo, the specter of a failed state was too grave to contemplate. He understood that leadership is not about personal pride, but about preserving the republic, not about victory in politics, but about preserving the stability of the nation we love, Kenya. Second, fellow citizens, Raila's love for Kenya was deep, steadfast, and unconditional. He once told us that if he were to die and God asked him where he would wish to be born again, he would say without hesitation, "Take me back to Kenya." Such was the depth of his devotion to our beloved nation. He knew that Kenya, like all nations, was not perfect, that nation building was work in progress, that it is only renewed with every generation. He understood that we are an imperfect people, always striving towards a more perfect union. Yet even in our flaws, he saw magic and beauty. In our struggles, he discerned promise, and in our contradictions, he could pick out hope and unity. To Raila, there was no place on earth more worthy of devotion, no people more deserving of faith, and no dream more noble than the Kenyan dream. Thirdly, Baba's life was an example of always choosing and closing ranks for the common good. When our nation faced turbulence last year, for example, I reached out across the political divide. Baba was the first to come to the table to help steady the ship of state, leading to the formation of the broad-based government that has since stabilized our economy and our nation. That is what heroes do. When the stakes are high, they rise above partisanship and put the country first. Even during the last election campaigns, when fate placed us once again on opposite sides of the political divide, Baba spoke words that will echo through generations. He said, and I quote, "I have been to the mountaintop. I have seen the glory land. I may not get there with you, but together we will get there." End of quote. In those words lay the essence of his leadership: selfless, visionary, and anchored in faith that Kenya's destiny transcends any individual. He reminded us that collaboration, even with rivals, is not an act of political convenience, but a sacred pact with posterity. For Baba, it was never about him becoming president. It was about Kenya having a good president and Kenya moving from a third world status to a first world status in a short time as possible, so that we as a people and as a nation can realize our true potential. The glory land that he saw at the mountaintop is the better, the greater, and the more perfect union for which we must now, on this Mashujaa Day, dedicate ourselves anew. Fourth, our former Prime Minister was a foremost preacher of national unity. He tirelessly reminded leaders and citizens alike that our overarching identity is not defined by tribe, region, or creed, but by the sacred bond of being Kenyan. He often urged us to think Kenya first, to let the idea of one nation under one flag rise above all else. And he lived by that creed. When in 2002, he stood before the nation and declared Kibaki Tosha, it was not because he was unaware of where President Kibaki came from. It was because he saw, beyond geography and ethnicity, he saw Kenya as one united nation under God. Fellow countrymen and women, it would therefore be a desecration of his legacy if we were to allow ourselves to be divided by sectarian interests, by the peddlers of hate, or by the see nothing good about Kenya battalion. The fifth lesson from Baba's life is one of unshakable faith in the future. He was a die-in-the-wool eternal optimist. Through every trial, setback, and triumph, the Right Honorable Raila believed that Kenya's best days were still ahead. He endured prison, persecution, and political defeat, yet never surrendered to bitterness or gave in to hopelessness. His optimism wasn't anchored on naivety. It was courage in motion. His life was a constant reminder that no setback is final, no dream too distant, and no obstacle insurmountable for a people determined and are united by purpose. At this juncture, fellow patriots, allow me to share reflections on the future of our great country, drawn from my intimate and wide-ranging conversations with the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga in the final months of his remarkable journey, as well as with leaders from across the political divide. In our engagements, Baba often spoke with immense passion and at times frustration about the pace of our national progress. He would often wonder why nations like South Korea, Singapore, or Malaysia, which were once at par with Kenya just a few decades ago, had leapt forward to first world status while we still grapple with the basics. In those moments of honesty and deep introspection, we came to a shared conclusion that the true driver of national development is leadership. And I repeat, is leadership. Not leadership focused on the next election, but leadership that aspires to impact the next generation. Leadership that dares to dream beyond its time and even its capacity. Leadership that is bold, visionary, and relentless in pursuit of the common good of our nation. And we agreed that if Kenya is to attain first world status within our lifetime, as it must, we should set for ourselves daring, audacious goals and pursue them with unwavering focus. It is in this very conviction, ladies and gentlemen, that has guided my engagements with leaders and stakeholders from across the political divide. I have consulted with my former boss, the fourth president of Kenya, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta. I have held discussions with majority of members of parliament, and they are here. I have consulted with many governors and grassroots leaders from every corner of the nation. And I will continue to engage, because Kenya's progress must never be a partisan pursuit. It is a national inclusive mission. Through these deliberations, I have arrived at a clear conclusion that although we have made commendable progress in stabilizing the nation over the last 3 years, the time has come to take the country to the next level. And to do so, we must act decisively on at least 3 national priorities. Our first priority is food security. We cannot speak of prosperity while spending over 500 billion shillings every year importing food into Kenya, including maize, importing wheat, rice, sugar, edible oil, among many. This is not just an economic burden to us. It is a threat to our sovereignty. A nation that cannot feed itself, ladies and gentlemen, is not a nation that can claim to be free or sovereign. The only viable path available for us towards this goal now, fellow citizens, is through the expansion of irrigation and the modernization of our agriculture. Rain-fed farming can no longer sustain our growing population or our aspirations. That is why we have now set an ambitious target to build at least 50 mega dams across Kenya and to bring at least 2 million acres under irrigation. Let me emphasize that this is not a far-fetched dream. It is a necessity that must be realized within the next decade. We must become not only a food-secure nation, but also a major exporter of farm produce in the coming years. We have many markets that we have negotiated. We have the American markets under accord. We have the Chinese market that is now open for us. We have the European market that we have negotiated under the Economic Partnership Agreement. We have the Africa Continental Free Trade Area market of 1.4 billion that we can export to. Our second priority is enhance value addition, agro-processing, and manufacturing through industrialization. To transform Kenya into a prosperous, job-creating, wealthy nation, we must become a country that makes things, not merely buys or imports them. A country that exports finished products, not raw materials. A country where industries absorb labor, spur innovation, and expand wealth across every region. We are already laying the foundation for this transformation. Through the Africa Growth and Industrialization Initiative, and in partnership with the Afri-Exim Bank, we are establishing special economic zones in different parts of Kenya, in Rea Vipingo, in Dongo Kundu, in Naivasha, in Sagana, in Thika, in Nakuru, in Eldoret, in Busia, in Kisumu, and many other special economic zone areas that we are finding land. These zones will host textile, agro-processing, assembly, and light manufacturing industries, creating tens of thousands of jobs. At the county level, as was mentioned by the governor of Kitui here, we are rolling out county aggregation and industrial parks in all 47 counties. These parks will link farmers to processors, entrepreneurs to markets, and small entrepreneurs to national and regional value chains. We are unwavering in our vision that everything Kenya produces must be processed in Kenya. Tea must leave Kenya not as raw leaves, but as packaged excellent tea. Coffee, not as cherries, but as a premium blend for international markets. Cotton, not as lint, but as fabric and fashion. Hides, not as raw skin, but as leather shoes and bags branded, made in Kenya. But we cannot industrialize, ladies and gentlemen, without reliable, affordable, and sustainable energy. That is why we have set our sights on expanding Kenya's energy generation capacity from the current 2,300 megawatts to at least 10,000 megawatts within the next decade. As a former Minister for Energy, Raila Odinga was a strong advocate for the rapid expansion of our energy capacity through multiple sources, including hydro, geothermal, solar, wind, and also energy. Just for the record, already a lot of research is going on the development of the first nuclear energy plant in Kenya, in Siaya County. With abundant energy, we shall power factories, light every home, and drive Kenya to become the industrial hub of East Africa and the continent. Our third critical area of focus is infrastructure development. Again, Baba, who also served as a Minister for Roads and Public Works and Housing under the late President Kibaki, no economy can flourish without world-class infrastructure. It is in this context that we have committed to dual at least 1,000 kilometers of major highways, including the Rironi, Nakuru, Mau Summit, Eldoret, Malaba Road, Makutano, Embu, Meru Road, Kitengela, Namanga Road, Mombasa, Nairobi Highway, and Maroa, Nanyuki, Isiolo roads, among others, and construct an additional 10,000 kilometers of new tarmac roads linking counties, linking farmers, traders, and manufacturers to markets across the nation, and complete the standard gauge railway from Naivasha to Kisumu and onward to Malaba, seamlessly connecting Kenya to Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, and DRC, the very heart of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area dream. Fellow citizens, to some, these projects may seem too ambitious, perhaps even out of reach. But this is precisely where bold, visionary, and heroic leadership comes into play, the kind that Raila Odinga embodied. It is the reason that on this Mashujaa Day, in recognition of his extraordinary contribution and enduring legacy, the government and the people of Kenya inscribe Raila Odinga's name among the foremost of our heroes under the public seal of the Republic of Kenya. On behalf of a grateful nation and through the authority vested in me as president, I have today posthumously conferred upon the Right Honorable Raila Odinga the highest honor of the Republic, the Chief of the Order of the Golden Heart of Kenya. Fellow citizens, I recall that when I spoke during Raila Odinga's state funeral, I wondered, where will another Raila come from? The truth is, there will forever be only one Raila Amolo Odinga, a single spirit, a towering patriot, and a hero for ages. But if we, the people he so deeply loved and served, choose to live by the lessons he's taught us, to love Kenya more than we love ourselves, to put unity above division, to aspire for greater, and to serve with courage and conviction, then we can become a great nation of 50 million heroes. And in doing so, Kenya will rise from the heights once thought unimaginable within our generation. That, fellow patriots, is our noble challenge on this Mashujaa Day. Kabla sijamaliza hotuba yangu, ndugu wananchi wa Kitui na Kenya, kwanza mimi nataka niwashukuru sana wananchi wa Kitui kwa sababu mmekuja kwa wingi sana. Tuko na halaiki ya watu wengi sana hapa Kitui leo, na mmekuja hapa kuunganisha na kuungana na ndugu zenu wananchi wa taifa letu la Kenya. Leo Kenya mzima inajulikana, sherehe ya Mashujaa inafanyika katika mji wa Kitui. Wana Kitui, watu wa Kitui, asanteni sana kwa kuwa wenyeji na kwa kutusaidia in hosting this great day as we celebrate Kenyan heroes. Kutoka kwangu na serikali nzima la taifa la Kenya, nawaambia watu wa Kitui, asanteni sana. Nyinyi pia kwa kufanya tendo hili la kuunganisha